It almost sounds impossible, doesn't it? But that's exactly the story of the 2021 Jefferson nickel that has collectors across the country scrambling. The coin looks completely normal at first glance, like any other nickel minted in Denver. But there's a secret hidden in the design that has turned ordinary pocket change into life-changing wealth. The story begins in 2021, a year when the U.S. Mint quietly produced a small batch of Jefferson nickels with a subtle error that went unnoticed for months. Only a handful of these coins escaped into circulation. No flashy announcement, no press release, just a tiny flaw that would make one nickel worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Collectors call it the 2021 treasure.Our. On this coin, the reverse side, the one with Monticello, has a noticeable doubling in the inscription. The letters are slightly thicker, almost as if someone had pressed the die twice. It's subtle, yes, but to those who know what to look for, it's unmistakable. Now, imagine holding that coin in your hand. You're staring at a simple Jefferson nickel, and yet you're holding nearly $1 million in metal. For years, collectors have dreamed about moments like this, stumbling across a coin in a jar, in a drawer, or tucked inside a change purse. The thought is exhilarating, almost surreal. To identify the coin, you'll need a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Examine the back carefully, focusing on the words E pluribus unum and Monticello. Look for doubling, letters that seem thicker, shadows where there shouldn't be any. This is not wear or a scratch. It's an error created at the mint, a 1 in a million chance that a coin could be produced this way. The emotional weight of this coin is hard to overstate. People have literally had these coins in their possession for months, completely unaware of their value. Imagine realizing that the coin you spent 5 cents on years ago is now worth over $877,000. One moment, it's spare change. The next, it's life-changing money. The mint never intended for collectors to find this treasure. The error is so small, so hidden, that it could easily be overlooked. That's what makes it so dramatic. Ordinary people, just going about their daily lives, suddenly discovering that they hold a fortune in their hands. It reads like a story from a novel, yet it's happening in real life. Now, let's reset for a moment. Close your eyes and picture walking through your house. On your kitchen counter, there's a jar of nickels, dimes, and pennies. You reach in absent-mindedly, pull out a nickel, and something about it feels different. It catches your eye. You bring it closer, examine it, and suddenly you realize, this is no ordinary coin. This could be the 2021 treasure. If you find one, professional grading is essential. Submitting the coin to a reputable grading company could confirm the error and authenticate it for auction. Once verified, collectors will pay extraordinary sums. This isn't speculation. This is proven by recent sales. Coins like this have already changed lives, turning ordinary people into instant millionaires overnight. Even if you've never been a coin collector before, don't underestimate the thrill of discovery. This isn't just about money. It's about the suspense, the excitement, the sheer joy of holding a piece of history that the world hasn't fully recognized yet. That's why so many collectors are glued to their drawers, jars, and coin rolls, hunting for the 2021 treasure. And here's where it gets even more inspiring. These coins are still out there, scattered across the country, unnoticed by those who handle them every day. Every roll of nickels you get from the bank, every old jar in the attic, every forgotten pocket change could hold this treasure. Take your time when searching. Study the details. Learn the telltale signs. A trained eye can spot the doubling immediately. And even if you don't find one today, you now know exactly what to look for. That knowledge alone could turn a casual search into $1 million discovery someday. Remember, this coin isn't about luck alone, it's about awareness. Millions of nickels circulate every year, but only a tiny fraction carry this error. Your knowledge, your attention to detail, and your curiosity are what set you apart from everyone else. That's why experienced collectors always say, patience and education are worth more than any roll of coins. Imagine the moment you finally spot it. The heart pounds. The breath catches. You hold the coin up, examine the letters, and it's undeniable. The 2021 Jefferson nickel with the rare treasure. Over $877,000 in value, and suddenly your ordinary day becomes unforgettable. Families have paid off mortgages, started businesses, and even changed careers because of coins like this. The excitement never fades. Every time someone finds one, it inspires thousands of others to keep searching. The thrill is infectious, and the possibility is real. Even seasoned collectors get goosebumps when they talk about their first discovery of a high-value era coin. And while some people might dismiss it as a long shot, remember that history proves otherwise. Coins have been discovered in drawers, jars, and couch cushions that were worth millions of dollars. Each discovery starts the same way, a simple, seemingly ordinary coin, hiding in plain sight. Now, it's your turn. Check the coins you already have. Look carefully at each nickel from 2021 minted in Denver. Study the back, focus on the inscriptions, and pay attention to every subtle detail. You might not find it today, but you've started a journey that could be extraordinary. The potential is real, the stakes are high, and the reward is life-changing. Because at the end of the day, this is more than just a coin. It's a story, a mystery, and a chance to hold history in your hands. Ordinary metal transformed into millions of dollars, all through the eye of someone willing to look closer, to notice what others overlook. So don't delay. Grab your coins, examine them carefully, and let your curiosity guide you. This isn't just a hobby, it's the opportunity to discover something unbelievable, something that could literally change your life. I'm going to tell you the story of the 2006 Jefferson Nickel that has collectors across the country on edge. It all begins with a quiet moment in a small town coin shop. A man, like you or me, sifts through a handful of nickels. Nothing seems special. Until his eyes catch a glint, a subtle difference that makes his heart race. A coin that looks ordinary, but carries a hidden secret that could be worth $947,000. Now, here's where it gets mysterious. Back in 2006, the Philadelphia Mint accidentally struck a small number of Jefferson Nickels with a rare double-die error on the reverse. Most people missed it. Most still do. This coin quietly left the mint, entered circulation, and went unnoticed in pockets, drawers, and coin rolls for nearly 2 decades. Imagine walking past a coin worth nearly $1 million every day and never knowing it. The story of this coin is emotional because it's not just about money. It's about luck, timing, and the thrill of discovery. Imagine a retiree digging through his change, or a kid emptying a jar of nickels on a kitchen table. Suddenly, life changes in a single glance. That feeling of awe, disbelief, excitement, it's what makes coin collecting more than a hobby. It's a chance at destiny. Let me teach you exactly how to spot this coin, because if you're watching this, you might already have it in your possession. The key is the reverse side. On a standard 2006 Jefferson nickel, the Monticello building is crisp and clean. On the rare era coin, look closely at the word E pluribus unum. You'll notice doubling, a faint shadow behind the letters, subtle but unmistakable. Your eyes will catch it once you know what to look for, and you'll never see nickels the same way again. Less than 200 of these coins exist. Fewer than 200 people in the entire country could claim to hold what you might be holding. And collectors are willing to pay millions to own it. Yes, millions. A single coin, quietly circulating in your pocket, could turn into a life-changing amount of money overnight. Think about the stories people tell when they find these coins. The retiree who finally bought his dream home, the hobbyist who traveled the world, the everyday person who realized that life can change in a single instant. Every coin has a story, but this coin has the power to rewrite a life story. Weight and strike quality can be clues. Genuine 2006 nickels with this rare error often show slightly raised lettering, a crisp rim, and a subtle doubling that isn't always visible to the naked eye. Some collectors use a magnifying glass, some rely on keen observation, but every expert agrees, the detail is there if you know how to look. Reset your focus again. Imagine sitting at your kitchen table tonight, sorting through coins for fun, and suddenly noticing something different. A tiny shadow, a slight doubling on the letters, a nickel that whispers the word $1 million. That moment, the shock, the disbelief, the excitement, is exactly why collectors keep coming back. But remember, not every 2006p nickel is rare. The vast majority are ordinary, everyday coins. That's what makes spotting the special ones so thrilling. This is about patience, knowledge, and paying attention to detail. Look at the letters. Look at the Monticello. Look for that shadow, that doubling, that subtle sign that screams rarity. Your attention resets, because this coin hides in plain sight, and it takes a trained eye to spot it. Imagine the rush of realizing you could be holding a coin that people would pay $947,000 for. The anticipation, the disbelief, the knowledge that your ordinary pocket change could suddenly hold extraordinary value. Let's pause for a moment and imagine the future. You could be walking into a coin dealer's shop, casually placing a nickel on the counter, and hearing words you never expected. "This is a rare double die error. Do you realize what you have here?" That's the moment life changes. That's the moment dreams become reality. That's the moment you discover millions hidden in plain sight, and it's not just about the money. It's about history, art, and the thrill of being part of something rare and extraordinary. Each of these coins carries a story, a legacy, and a chance to become part of the legend of coin collecting. Imagine telling your grandkids that you discovered a coin worth millions. That story alone is priceless. These coins often have a slightly different sheen or luster than ordinary nickels. They may reflect light differently, or the rays doubling may catch the eye in the right angle. Practice, patience, and careful observation are your keys. The more you look, the more you'll start to recognize the difference between ordinary and life-changing. And here's the kicker: people have found these coins in the most ordinary places. Coin rolls, jars of loose change, even forgotten drawers. No one expects them. That's what makes the discovery so exhilarating. One moment, it's just another nickel. The next, it's a ticket to a new life. Millions of dollars, hiding quietly in plain sight, waiting for someone to notice. So take a deep breath, start looking closely, and pay attention to the details. Your next coin sort could be the one that changes everything. Remember the letters, the doubling, the faint shadows. Stay vigilant. Stay patient. The reward could be beyond imagination. But what if I told you that one of those ordinary nickels could be hiding a fortune worth nearly $700,000? That's right, a 2007p Jefferson nickel, seemingly common, yet hiding a secret that could change your life forever. They see it, and their hearts skip a beat. This nickel doesn't just carry history, it carries millions of possibilities. Imagine sifting through a jar of coins and stumbling upon the one piece that could make you a millionaire overnight. That's exactly what has happened to a handful of collectors who learned the hard way that luck, timing, and a sharp eye can make you richer than you ever dreamed. The story of this coin starts with the Philadelphia Mint in 2007. Ordinary nickels rolled off the presses by the millions, destined to sit in wallets and piggy banks across the country. But in a few rare instances, an error occurred. A subtle misalignment during the striking process created what experts call a double-dyed verse. To the untrained eye, it's just another nickel. But to collectors, it's a treasure. That tiny doubling on the date and the word Jefferson could be the difference between 5 cents and $697,000. Now, before you rush to empty your change jar, let's talk about what makes this coin so special. The doubling is faint, almost ghostly, but it's there. You'll notice it in the digits of 2007, especially the 0 and the 7, and on the word Jefferson. It's subtle enough that most people overlook it entirely, but sharp eyes catch it, and suddenly, that nickel is worth hundreds of thousands. Stories of collectors finding these coins are almost cinematic. One man was cleaning out his grandfather's old coin collection, expecting to find nothing more than sentimental value. But then he saw it. The faint double die, glinting under the light, and his hands began to shake. He had no idea at that moment he was holding a coin valued at nearly $700,000. Overnight, a lifetime of dreams seemed suddenly within reach. But here's the thing, it's not just about luck. It's about knowing what to look for. You have to examine the date closely, check the lettering, and use a magnifying glass to spot the doubling. And don't just stop at the obvious. Look at the rim, the strike, and even the luster of the coin. These coins are rare, and every detail matters. Collectors have spent years studying these coins because they know that the difference between a worthless nickel and a six-figure treasure can be almost invisible. Imagine holding that coin in your hand while thinking about all the things it could change in your life. Maybe it's paying off debt, maybe it's finally taking that dream vacation, or maybe it's the kind of money that allows you to leave a legacy for your children and grandchildren. All that from a nickel that might be sitting in your pocket right now. Every minute, millions of ordinary nickels are passed from person to person. Most will never be looked at twice. But somewhere, hidden among them, is the 2007 Jefferson nickel with the double die obverse, a coin that could be worth nearly $700,000. Some collectors have even managed to sell them for more than that when the market spikes. And when these coins hit the right auction, prices soar, creating million-dollar opportunities for anyone lucky enough to own one. Patience is key. You can't just glance at a coin and hope for the best. You need a careful eye, a steady hand, and a willingness to study every coin that comes your way. That's how fortunes are discovered, not by chance alone, but by preparation meeting opportunity. The next person who finds one of these nickels might be sitting right next to you, or they could be someone who takes the time to sift through a bag of coins that most people would throw away without a second thought, and the thrill doesn't stop at identifying it. The moment you realize the value, there's a rush of disbelief, a surge of excitement that's almost impossible to describe. People have described it as holding a key to a secret world, a world where fortunes are hidden in plain sight. That feeling, that instantaneous realization that your life could change forever, is exactly what makes coin collecting addictive, suspenseful, and frankly, life-changing. So if you have jars of coins lying around your house, take a closer look. Examine every nickel. Check the date, examine the lettering, and shine a light across its surface. That faint doubling could be staring back at you, quietly waiting to be recognized. And once you spot it, you'll know, this isn't just a coin anymore. This is your ticket to a fortune. Collectors who have found these coins often speak of them with reverence. They tell stories of sleepless nights spent studying coins, of the tension that rises every time they check a jar, and of the sheer joy when a rare coin finally reveals itself. It's not just money, it's history, it's discovery, it's the kind of thrill that makes you feel alive. A nickel found in a dusty drawer, a coin buried in a forgotten collection, a simple piece of metal that suddenly transforms into hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that story could be yours. That's the magic of this 2007 Jefferson nickel. It's hiding in plain sight, but it's waiting for someone like you to find it. Millions of coins pass through circulation every year, and only a handful carry this extraordinary secret. But those who recognize it, who take the time to look closely and understand what they're holding, are the ones who see their lives transformed. It's the ultimate reminder that fortune often comes quietly, disguised as the ordinary, waiting for someone brave enough to see its true value. So take a look at your coins. Study them. Learn the signs. Every bag of change could contain a story waiting to be told, a fortune waiting to be discovered. And when you find it, the excitement, the disbelief, and the joy will be unlike anything you've ever experienced. But what if I told you that one coin, one single nickel from 2008, could be worth $865,000, hiding in plain sight right under your nose? Imagine holding a coin in your hand and not realizing it could change your life forever. It all starts with a mystery. The 2008 Jefferson nickel isn't just another coin. Something happened that year, something subtle but extraordinary. A tiny minting error went unnoticed by the millions of coins that rolled out of the Denver Mint. Most people never even knew it existed. But for those who spot it, it's a ticket to unimaginable wealth. You're at the grocery store, emptying your wallet at the checkout, and a cashier hands you a nickel as change. You glance at it, flip it over casually, and something makes you pause. The image of Jefferson looks different. There's a tiny flaw, almost invisible, but it's there. That flaw? That's the key. That tiny mistake could turn a coin worth 5 cents into a coin worth nearly $1 million. Collectors all over the country are scrambling to find it. Stories are emerging of people finding these coins in old coin rolls, tucked into dusty jars, forgotten drawers, even between couch cushions. And every time one is discovered, the excitement is electric, because each one is worth hundreds of thousands, sometimes over $1 million. Let's talk about how to identify it. You need to look closely at the D mint mark on the coin. Not all 2008 nickels are created equal. The special ones show a small doubling effect, almost like the mint mark split in two. The lettering might appear slightly raised or thicker than normal. The finer details of Jefferson's portrait may be sharper, or the lines on his bust may show unusual ridges. These are the subtle signs that separate a 5-cent coin from a life-changing treasure. Imagine the emotions of finding one. Relief, disbelief, joy, a rush of adrenaline so strong it makes your heart pound. One moment you're thinking about lunch, the next moment you're staring at a nickel that could pay off mortgages, fund dreams, or finally let you retire on your own terms. It's a feeling most people only experience in their wildest fantasies. But here's the twist: most people pass it by every day. Thousands of nickels are minted, but only a handful carry this secret. And the trick is, it looks like every other coin in your change jar. You could hold it in your hand, never notice, and throw it back into circulation. The universe has hidden these coins in plain sight, daring someone to uncover them. Collectors say you have to train your eye. Look at the edges, the texture, the shine. Inspect every coin as if it's the one that could rewrite your life. Because that's exactly what it is. One coin, one subtle imperfection, could be your ticket to hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even over $1 million if you're lucky enough to find it in pristine condition. Think about the stories you'll tell. Sitting at a kitchen table, holding a coin you found in your pocket change, realizing that your careful attention to detail, your patience, your curiosity, it all led you to this moment. This isn't just a coin, it's history, luck, and fortune rolled into one tiny circle of metal, and you don't need to travel to auctions or dig through mountains of coins. It could be in your drawer, in a jar of coins you've ignored for years, or even tucked in an old wallet. Every 2008 Jefferson nickel could be hiding a secret, but only the ones with that tiny minting error are the golden ticket. Examine the D mint mark under light, or with a magnifying glass. Look for doubling, irregular thickness, or unusual lines in Jefferson's portrait. Compare it to other 2008 nickels. The difference is subtle, but it's unmistakable once you see it. And when you do see it, you'll know, this coin isn't just money, it's $1 million discovery waiting to happen. The stories keep coming in. Everyday people turning ordinary coin jars into extraordinary windfalls. People who never imagined a nickel could hold this much power, this much promise. Families suddenly finding financial freedom. Dreams once deferred now within reach. And every single coin tells the same story. Luck favors the observant. Now, imagine your own hand sifting through coins, your eyes landing on that one nickel that looks just a little different. Your pulse quickens. Your mind races. Could this really be it? Could this tiny, ordinary coin in your pocket change your life forever? It's more than a coin. It's possibility, chance, and fortune wrapped in metal. And remember, the market is heating up. Collectors will pay anything to get their hands on one of these coins. Some have already sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, others are quietly waiting for the right buyer. If you spot one, it could be your own story of unbelievable discovery, your own path to financial freedom, your own moment where ordinary becomes extraordinary. Take a moment. Imagine holding it. The weight, the shine, the history beneath your fingertips. You know it's special because you can see what others can't. The tiny mint mark, the subtle doubling, the life-altering imperfection. You are now part of a secret club of people who understand the true value hiding in plain sight. Don't let it slip away. Check your coins. Look carefully. This is the one that turns ordinary change into a life-changing treasure. And every time you hold it, you'll remember that fortune doesn't just happen. Sometimes, you have to see it, recognize it, and claim it. Imagine reaching into your pocket, expecting nothing more than a few coins, and discovering a coin that could change your life forever. Right now, hidden in plain sight, is a 2006 Jefferson nickel, a coin so rare that collectors are willing to pay close to $1 million for it. You could be holding a fortune without even knowing it. This coin doesn't shout its value. It doesn't sparkle or gleam like gold. It's a simple nickel, small, ordinary, but with a secret hidden in its design, a secret that only a few people know about. And that secret has made ordinary people into millionaires overnight. The story begins with the United States Mint. Every year, millions of nickels are produced, stamped with the familiar face of Thomas Jefferson. But in 2006, a tiny error slipped through the system, a flaw so subtle that most eyes would miss it entirely. This flaw turned a simple coin into a treasure worth nearly $1 million. Imagine the person who first found one. One moment, they were sifting through a jar of change, wondering if they'd ever find anything special. The next, they held in their hand a coin so rare, it changed their entire perspective on life. A coin that could turn a modest collection into a fortune. People have seen their dreams turn into reality because they recognized this coin before anyone else. The 2006 Jefferson nickel has a distinguishing feature, a doubled die on the reverse. Look closely at the inscriptions, especially the words E pluribus unum and the year 2006. If you see a slight doubling, a shadow-like effect behind the letters and numbers, that's the clue. That tiny, almost invisible detail is worth millions to the right collector. Even seasoned coin dealers can overlook it. That's what makes this discovery so thrilling. Ordinary people, just like you, have walked past piles of coins, never realizing that a small, unassuming nickel could hold the key to a life-changing fortune. This coin doesn't come with fanfare. It hides in plain sight, waiting for someone who knows how to look. It's not just the doubling that matters. The coin's condition is critical. Coins with minimal wear, those that have been protected from circulation, can fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars. If your nickel is crisp, the details sharp, and the edges clean, you could be holding a nearly $1 million treasure. People have sold similar nickels for life-changing sums, and the stories are real. Ordinary collectors suddenly found themselves millionaires. Imagine the excitement when the phone rang, and a collector was told their coin could be worth close to $1 million. The disbelief, the adrenaline, the moment of understanding that something they casually held could hold such unimaginable value. That could be your story. You could be the next person to discover this hidden fortune in your own collection, your own change jar. This coin also has a mysterious backstory that adds to its allure. It wasn't part of a special release. It wasn't advertised. It quietly entered circulation, mingling with ordinary nickels, almost as if it were meant to be discovered by fate. The mint never announced it, and most collectors had no idea it existed. Those who stumbled upon it first didn't just find a coin, they uncovered a secret that the government had inadvertently hidden for decades. Collectors describe the search for these coins as thrilling, almost like a treasure hunt. You can spend hours sorting through jars, searching rolls, examining each coin with a magnifying glass, knowing that at any moment, a discovery could change everything. And the best part? There's no way to predict when it will happen. The next $1 million nickel could be right in your pocket right now. Let's talk about identification again, because this is critical. Every 2060 nickel should be examined under proper lighting. Tilt it slightly, watch how the light catches the letters, and look for doubling in Jefferson, the date, and E pluribus unum. The effect is subtle, almost like a shadow behind the original engraving. It's these tiny, almost invisible details that separate an ordinary coin from a life-altering treasure, and condition cannot be overstated. Even with the doubled die, a worn nickel won't fetch the same value. Coins that have been circulated heavily, with scratches, dents, or fading, are still collectible but won't approach the $1 million range. The key is finding a coin with sharp details and minimal wear. That's the coin that has made millionaires out of people just like you. The rarity is what makes this coin truly exceptional. Thousands of nickels were minted in 2006, but only a tiny fraction carried the doubled die flaw. That's why dealers fight over them, why auctions reach astronomical numbers, and why collectors treat them as the holy grail of Jefferson nickels. When you hold one, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding history, luck, and fortune all at once. Every time someone finds one, the excitement is palpable. Messages flood forums, social media lights up, and the coin community buzzes with the thrill of discovery. People dream about finding one for years, and when it happens, the reaction is unforgettable. It's a mixture of shock, disbelief, and pure joy. That could be you. You could be the next story. Check the year 2006, the D mint mark, and the reverse inscriptions for the doubled die. Examine under good light, use a magnifying glass, and keep an eye out for the subtle shadows behind the letters and numbers. This isn't just luck, this is careful observation and knowledge combined. The emotional part of collecting coins like this is what makes it addictive. You're not just seeking metal, you're seeking possibility. You're searching for the coin that can turn dreams into reality, the coin that can take someone from ordinary life to a millionaire. And history has shown that these 2060 Jefferson Nickels can do exactly that. Imagine the story you tell when you show your friends. The astonishment in their eyes, the disbelief that you found a coin worth over $1 million hidden in plain sight. It's not just a nickel, it's a ticket to a different life, a symbol of fortune and the thrill of discovery. People have experienced life-changing moments over coins smaller than your thumb. This coin proves that sometimes, the biggest treasures come in the smallest packages. So don't overlook your jars of coins. Don't dismiss the change in your pocket. Hidden within, there could be a 2060 Jefferson nickel, waiting patiently for the person who can recognize its true value. Ordinary coins can hide extraordinary secrets, and ordinary people can stumble upon unimaginable wealth with a little patience and attention to detail. Every second spent examining coins could bring you closer to that life-changing discovery. Think of the thrill, the suspense, the disbelief of holding a coin worth nearly $1 million without knowing it. That's what makes this nickel legendary. It's not just about the money, it's about the story, the chase, and the unbelievable moment of realization. This is your chance. Right now, you could have a coin in your hand that most people will never even know exists. A coin that could be worth millions. A coin that has turned ordinary collectors into millionaires and inspired awe across the coin community. It's not just a dream, it's a possibility within your grasp. Yes, I'm talking about a 2022 P mint marked Jefferson nickel, a coin so rare that collectors are calling it the find of a lifetime. The story of this nickel begins in the quietest, most ordinary places, the U.S. Mint. Somewhere in 2022, a small batch of nickels was produced with a subtle error, barely noticeable to the naked eye. Most went unnoticed, circulated like any other nickel. But a few slipped through, rare variations that now hold the power to change lives. Imagine the person who first found one, just an ordinary collector, perhaps hunting through their weekly change. 1 second, it's a regular coin. The next, it's a golden ticket, a nickel with a mint mark placement that makes it extraordinary. In that moment, a life can be transformed. The value? $586,000. And yes, you heard me right. More than $500,000 for a coin smaller than your thumb. Here's what makes this coin special. Most 2022 nickels have a perfectly centered P mint mark, stamped clearly and consistently. But this rare variant? The mint mark is slightly misaligned, and the details on Jefferson's portrait are sharper than usual. The finish has an unusual luster, almost like it captured a secret from the mint itself. It's subtle, but when you know what to look for, it screams value. These coins were created for everyday use, yet they could be worth millions in the right hands. $586,000 for a nickel is no exaggeration. It's a reminder that history doesn't always announce itself with fireworks. Sometimes it whispers, in a coin that's been passing from hand to hand for months, even years. Next, examine Jefferson's portrait. Compared to a regular 2022 P nickel, the rare version will have finer, crisper details. Finally, inspect the luster. It's almost impossible to describe, but once you see it, you know it. Many collectors describe it as having a quiet brilliance, like it's holding a secret. These nickels are out there, scattered across the country, hidden in circulation, waiting for someone to recognize them. One moment, they're just ordinary coins in your change jar. The next, they could be life-changing treasures. Imagine finding a coin worth $500,000 without even knowing it existed. Some collectors have spent years chasing rarities, scouring coin rolls, attending auctions, and studying mint errors. Others, the luckiest few, stumbled across them by accident. One moment, they were buying groceries. The next, their life had changed. And that's the magic of coins like this. They reward the observant, the patient, and sometimes, the lucky. If you're serious about finding one, start by examining the coins you already own. Go through your jars, your old collections, your loose change. Look for that off-center P, the unusual shine, the sharper details on Jefferson's face. Even seasoned dealers are surprised by how many of these coins are still sitting unnoticed in homes across the country. Think about it. A coin created in 2022, just a few years ago, has already reached a value that could rival the cost of a house. And it's not just about money. There's an emotional thrill, a story that connects you to history, to the people who produced it, and to the countless hands it has passed through. Holding it is like holding a secret the world has mostly forgotten. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary can be almost imperceptible. But that tiny difference could mean a lifetime of financial freedom. One misaligned mint mark, one unusual shine, and suddenly, a small nickel becomes $1 million discovery waiting to happen. Some collectors have literally held these coins in their hands for months before realizing their value. The suspense builds every time a coin is examined, every time a comparison is made. And the excitement is not just about the money, it's about knowing you have something so rare, so extraordinary, that few people in the world even know it exists. Thousands of coins are minted every day. Millions of nickels circulate across the United States. Among them, the 2022 P mint marked Jefferson nickel hides quietly, blending in. But to those who know its story, it is a symbol of possibility, a reminder that extraordinary things often come in the most ordinary forms. Collectors describe the moment of discovery as almost spiritual. A coin that seems like change suddenly becomes a ticket to the life you've dreamed about. Some even say it's like the coin chooses its owner, appearing when the timing is right. And when you finally see it, that quiet brilliance, the sharp details, the misaligned mint mark, the feeling of holding a piece of history, it's unforgettable. So don't overlook your coins. Don't dismiss the loose change in your drawer or the forgotten rolls in your attic. One coin could be the difference between dreaming about wealth and actually living it. And remember, this is not a story from the past. This is happening now. Collectors are paying hundreds of thousands, even approaching $1 million for these rare nickels. And every day, more are discovered. Every minute you spend without checking your coins is a moment someone else could be finding their fortune. Examine each nickel carefully. Compare it to images online. Look for the subtle misalignments, the extra sharp details, the extraordinary luster. Your attention to detail could turn a coin from ordinary to life-changing. The story of the 2022 P mint marked Jefferson nickel is more than just a tale of value. It's a story of discovery, patience, and the extraordinary hiding in plain sight. It's a reminder that sometimes, the universe hides treasures where you least expect them, in your pocket, your drawer, or your collection.